Let's get this thing started. Yes, welcome to my domain. This is John Hess, filmmakeriq.com, coming to you on a Saturday afternoon, bright and sunny today. It's been a miserable week. Has it been a miserable week? Yeah, or was last week was the rainy week? Yeah, they're both rainy. I don't remember. No, last week was the rainy one. This one was okay. It's been an okay week, but it's been a long week. It's been a long week. So I am back in there. I released 2 videos this week, which is like, whoa, John actually made videos. He actually does stuff. That's insane. Oh, I forgot to pull up my my chat to see what you guys are up to. Today's topic of the day for the people that are going to be coming in about 3 minutes here, as they discover that this whole thing, they're going to tell me to restart everything. Oh, start over again. Oh, we already got chats coming through already. People are excited. Yeah, I'm in the UK. Rain is part of life. Exactly. I'm standing by my belief that AI will herald the end times. Oh, there you go. I'm not. I saw Marcus Brownlee's video on improvement aids getting better. Do you think it'll make creators more lazy or more creative with this tool? Let's get into it. Let's get into it, shall we? So if you haven't seen, the OpenAI released some demos of Sora, which is their new AI feature. So I can pull it up here. So this is my view here. Whoop. Let's see, there we go. That's me. Yay! So here's the website, Sora. OpenAI.Sora, and they've got some pretty interesting improvements. I mean, it's to be completely honest and fair, it is some dramatic improvements as far as AI video, like light years ahead of what's currently out there, which is really not that good. Like this little trailer they made, the prompt is a movie trailer featuring the adventures of a 30-year-old spaceman wearing a red wool knitted motorcycle helmet, blue sky, salt desert, cinematic style, shot on 35mm film. Let's see what's more, with vivid colors. This is quite remarkable as far as the quality of the shot and the quality of the imagery in play here. So absolutely, huge step forward. There's a couple other examples here. The one that's always on the first one page is this one right here. Stylish woman walks down a Tokyo street filled with warm, glowing neon animated city signage. She wears black leather jacket, long red dress, and black boots, and carries a black purse. She wears sunglasses and red lipstick. She walks confidently and casually. The street is damp and reflective, creating a mirror-like effect on colorful lights. Many pedestrians walk around. So, and to be fair, this is pretty good. There's still, I'm going to nitpick this now. There's still some very wobbly nonsense going on with the legs. It's not quite right. If you watch carefully, if you watch the background stuff, it's like, what is this guy wearing? And why is he walking that way? It looks like he's just like walking in place. He's not even moving. He's just standing in that one dry spot the entire time. I'm talking about oh, he just shows up over there too. Signage is issues. I don't know what that says there, that little thing on her glasses. And to be fair, the imagery starts to break down when I'm watching it in full screen mode. But for people on cell phones, hey, it's not a bad. Oh, this is miles ahead of what we have currently today. Like this sign, I don't think that's a real. What's going on with this lamp? It's like a crack pipe. It's a crack pipe lamp. I don't get what's going on here with this thing. So this little signpost out here, you guys should be able to see my mouse, I think, on the screen there. So like this little sign's goofed up here. I don't know what's going on there. So there's a lot of details. So a lot of people that are freaking out about this stuff, I guess, are not photographers and not filmmakers who have that eye for attention to detail. A lot of details are still very, very, very bad about this. This is an example of one that's a very bad detail. Like, I can kind of, Oh, it's not this one. This one's pretty good. This pulls off pretty good. There's still some weirdness going on with some of these waves. Like, it's not bad. This could probably pass off if you weren't very careful. I could pass this off as a real life drone shot. Oh wait, here's some messiness. If you look at this gazebo here, it has some weird geometry. It looks flat, then it becomes not flat anymore. The Santorini image was really bad, I thought. Let me jump down to that. I mean, the point I'm trying to get at is it's very good. There's still a lot of ways to go. This is one that's always been kind of given examples of, but the problem I have with this is like there's no car that would drive that close to the side. Like it just feels like it's driving over stuff that wouldn't be realistic looking. Anyhow, let's go back. I wanted to show you that Santorini shot that I thought basically looked like Google Earth. It's kind of like, it's sort of like what Microsoft Flight Simulator would do. Let's see, where is that shot? This one right here. I think this one looks pretty bad when you look in the details. Like you start looking into like the shapes, what's going on inside of these rooms. They just look really wrong. Like something's off. It looks, yeah, it just doesn't work. There's something bizarre going on in the inside of the room spaces. It still feels like kind of AI trying to compensate. Otherwise, if you take a step back and look at it, it actually looks pretty good. But it's the devil's in the details. Devil's always in the details. Anyhow. So am I coping? Am I coping? Should I just be doom and glooming and just throwing everything up and saying, "Oh, woe is me. The internet. I'm out of a job. I'm out of a job." Rip stock footage. See okay. Let me show you one more shot. Here's where I guess some of the legal issues start coming up a little bit. There's one shot in here. There's a couple bad shots they showed off, and it's very. I like what I'm reading from the site. If you actually sit down and read what they're saying, it's actually very, we'll say calming, but very much more like they're trying to be responsible. But the problem, so there's one shot in here. Let me see if I can find it. This one right here. Let me make that switch over the screen of that. This shot right here sure looks good. And the problem I have with this shot is that I wonder how much of this was trained on actual footage of a Chinese New Year celebration. The point of like where this could be stock footage. And how close is it to something that's real? And that's what I wonder. Because this looks legitimately real. And you could obviously see somebody using this shot talking about like Chinese New Year in San Francisco or something like that, you know? Like I could legitimately see some news source, like, you know, folks gather to the Chinese New Year and this shot, because it's like so nondescript. There's no signage. The buildings are kind of nondescript. The people are pretty good, but then people just become faceless masses toward the end, and it's just really just this dragon that's being carried along. So this is really, really good. So I guess B-roll. You know, if you're making a movie about if you're making a movie about something that happens in Chinatown, remaking Chinatown, you know, it uses B-roll. So I don't know, is that good or bad? Maybe it's good. Who knows? I don't know. But here's another aspect I want to talk about. In that, I mean, right now all I'm seeing is everyone just jumping on this thing and saying like, "Oh my God, we're going to lose our jobs." Everyone, you know, I might as well quit. Like the VFX Reddit community is just insane. Well, first of all, they're experiencing a lot of layoffs, so they're all kind of freaked out anyway. But anyhow, I think what the thing I wanted to say about it is, it just came out like on Thursday, and it's still so new, and everyone's saying like, "Oh, just wait a couple years." I think what you're going to realize is you wait a couple years, people are going to get bored with it. I think you're going to just get bored with it all. I literally just think, I mean, it's cool, it's new, but then so what? I think the world of, maybe it's just a function of being, because now I'm officially 20 years in a profession of this, doing this professionally. And it's like, I just don't care about pretty images. I just don't care about pretty images. Like, I mean, yeah, they're nice, but at the bottom, at the end of the day, you need a story, and really, AI is not the AI is not going to create a story that you're going to love. It just won't. It will help you create that story, and I've used it to help tell some stories, and I will continue using it to help me build stories and stuff like that. But I think ultimately, it's still going to need that human connection. All right. Ali Ahmadi says, I am on Iranian TV. I've been told that before, but I'm glad they're still using my images on Iranian TV. So they're not going to use this live stream, so let me say, welcome, my Iranian friends. Freedom, peace be with you all. All right. The reflections are the most impressive to me. Yeah, they're pretty good. They're pretty good. Not quite perfect yet. Like, so I think the ultimate the ultimate holy grail of AI technology would be AI to produce the textures and also produce a 3D scene. So it would have to model the geometry of a scene, and then we would use traditional 3D rendering pipelines in order to render those scenes. I think we do that, then we have like the holy grail of like AI. But not until we get out of this whole like, it's got to take that next step. Like that's the next step of like when it really becomes something really important, like really useful. See, the problem with like, again, another person brought this up was that will AI pass the client test? And if you don't think clients can spot out every single little mistake or little tiny thing, or little tiny shade of meaning, or they can. They're annoying like that to the point where like it doesn't even matter. They feel like they need to just point stuff out and have you fix stuff. So, yep. After the advent of television, numerous articles were published discussing the impact of this new medium on the film industry, while many argued that cinema would become obsolete. I mean, it almost did for a while. Cinema had to radically change after the advent of television, and it did. And I think for the better, because I think most of our favorite movies all came after television came about. Prompt writing will become a new vocation, like the librarians before the internet. A little bit. I mean, it'll become a skill that you'll need to have. That's for sure. If you can feed Sora some reference images, I think the results might be okay. I understand that's what's in the pipeline. Yeah. Denny Zagra says this would not exist without stock footage. Absolutely correct. Yeah, you're right. There you go. I think I agree with you. Arch Sun. AI represents an incredible opportunity for creative exploration rather than a looming threat. As filmmakers, we can delve into the realm of possibilities that AI offers, such as reimagining films. Yeah. But I also want to maybe my theme today that I really wanted to kind of harp on was get out, get off your phone. Not now, because you're watching the most important live stream of your life. But I'm telling you this. Get off your phone. Get off the computer. Be a filmmaker. If you want to be a filmmaker, you got to go out and explore. And you got to go be in the place. And you've got to stage a production. You've got to organize actors. You've got to explore possibilities. You can't do this sitting in your bedroom, on your computer, looking at a screen. I feel like COVID unfortunately ushered us into this belief that being on a screen was somehow equivalent to being in real life. And even this talk about that Apple goggles stuff, as if we're kind of moving toward this idea that simulated reality is somehow a good reality or real reality, and it's not. And you need to get out there and you need to experience like real life and real reality. And films are better with reality. Like I was watching again, I come back this one episode of Cinema Therapy, and they're watching the scene between Robin Williams and Matt Damon in that movie, Good Will Hunting. And it was just people talking, and AI has not done any of that. AI makes pretty images with no meaning to them. There's that woman walking down the street. I've seen that thing a million times in every single fashion magazine. It's cool now. It's exciting now. Everyone's like super hyped about it. But will anyone care about any AI image created next year? Will anybody like really care about that stuff? I'm planning a trip. I want to go. I was a contributing member to the Academy Museum. I gave them $100. Yay me. They probably have a plaque on the wall for me, right? John Hess, filmmaker IQ, $100 for this multi-million-dollar museum space. But then COVID happened. I never got to go. But I want to go now. I want to go to the museum, to the AMPS Museum, Academy of Motion Pictures Arts and Sciences Museum. And do you think that in 30 years they will be posting images from AI there at the AMPS Museum? Will that be what matters to people? Does any of that matter even? I mean, maybe in a historical book, maybe somewhere 100 years from now, they might pull up, one of these examples at the Sora site. I don't know. Beyond historical value, is there any cultural value to it? Is there any significance to that shot, those shots? I mean, I'm sure there's significance in in the first few AI creations. And things become memes, and maybe they'll have particular value. But the fact that you turn an AI image into a meme is not so much an AI process. It's a human process. It's people bringing meaning to something that otherwise maybe has no meaning. Let's go back to your comments. FC says AI has achieved the level of minimum viable product. What matters when an audience and corporations are concerned, not the level of polish, which will improve. I don't know. I kind of disagree with that in that I don't think. I mean, yeah, as a viable product in terms of I don't know, even like that lady. Okay, let's go back. I think I closed it. That lady walking down the street in Japan. Like, okay, it's nice, but does anybody care? Like deeply care, other than the fact that, oh, it looks nice. But like if I were trying to sell like glasses, like designer sunglasses, like I could hire Natalie Portman and do the same kind of a shot, and that to me would be much more interesting, a lot less more striking than a rando AI generated woman walking down a rando street that's not quite right. And plus, if you ever work with brands, which I guess maybe why I think I'm having more problem with that argument. It's not what matters to our audiences. Corporations are concerned. That's not quite true. Corporations are going to nitpick the crap out of this stuff. So unless you can absolutely change every tiniest detail, corporations will have a hard time with that, with the AI, because corporations will want to meddle with every little tiny detail, and it won't quite work up. Anyhow. If you're imagining a fictional city or something like that, I think it's safe to use AI footage. Yeah, sure, why not? What about the Swedish bikini volleyball team? That's just a question that you're asking every day when you wake up in the morning. What about the Swedish bikini volleyball team? It's like, what about the Holy Roman Empire? I mean, it's just it's on the top of mind all the time. As TV had impact on cinemas, AI will have an impact and but it does not contribute to creativity. I think that's right. Still room for improvement, but I think the real story is how fast the technology advances. It's true, technology is moving pretty quickly on that front. But again, I think the improvement is not the improvement is on the aesthetic of it. What I'm concerned is the aesthetic is not what that matters. All right. Kodak didn't think digital was a threat back in 2005, and now what was once one of the biggest corporations now has to fight for survive. My thought is this is where we are at with AI. Yeah, maybe. But the thing is, like, I'm coming back to the whole idea is, man, I don't want to sit at a computer and call that my life. and I've tasted something more than that. And I hope you guys realize with the AI stuff, it's just fake. So here's an example. How many people here, by a show of hands, and I'll go to the top of the comments, how many here are excited to see Madame Web? You guys can't wait to see a Madame Web, right? I mean, how many people just want to see Madame Web? Right? You guys are all in line for that movie, right? Right? I'm not seeing anybody say Madame Web is their absolute desire to see this weekend. They're not going out and jumping out? Oh, there we go. We got one Madame Web. All right, cool. He's raising his hand. Sunflower. I'm just going to assume that is proper. He is excited about Madame Web. But if you're not excited about Madame Web, why Madame Web? I'm going to just say it very, very disturbingly weird. Madame Web. Mademoiselle Web. If you're not excited about Madame Web, why not? Like, why not? Like, legitimately, why aren't you excited about it? It looks like visually, it looks pretty good. Visually, it's got everything you need. It's got Sydney Sweeney in it, for crying out loud. I mean, Dakota Johnson's not bad to look at. She maybe has a bad line readings, but still. Because you're not interested in Madame Web because you're not interested in the story. You're not interested in the plot. So what makes you think AI is going to do better? Oh, he just came in. All right, I get you. What I'm saying is that Madame Web is just not exciting, even though it has aesthetically everything that these AI samples have. These AI samples are aping the visual quality of Madame Web, right? And yet, all I see when I turn on YouTube is just people just shitting on Madame Web all day long, you know. And honestly, I mean, if it weren't for someone I'm dating, I wouldn't know what it was because she knows Marvel movies better than I do. So Madame Web just goes to show you that, like, soulless, manufactured crap doesn't have an audience. Helium Road says, when I was talking about Natalie Portman, Natalie Portman costs more. Yeah, but she'll make you more money. If I just put AI in there, yeah, it's going to be cheap, but it won't make me any money. That's the point. Any man says, that's not the point, though. Good storytellers will take their talent to AI in the future instead of shooting with cameras and actors. I don't think so. I disagree. I mean, talented filmmakers are going to use AI to create things. But to think that cameras and actors are going to go away, I think it's silly. I think that, again, you're not going to get AI to show you the kind of emotional depth that watching, like, Robin Williams talking to Matt Damon is going to get you there. It's just, AI doesn't get there. I mean, maybe it will if it's some fantastic form, but then we're talking like actual intelligence, like actually created intelligence. In that case, yeah, if it's an actual intelligent, sentient creature that's artificial, then yes, I think maybe at that point we can say we might work with like actual AI actors. I don't think we're anywhere near that. What's the story? Yeah, AI is going to be incredible, but who's the curator? That's a good point. Yeah, because a lot of times what happens with AI is you've got to basically, at least in the current state, what you got to do is you have to literally keep I call it pulling into the slot machine, but there's other term for it is re-rolling. You have to keep re-rolling. Respectfully, I see you're thinking it's Kodak 2005. That's respectfully. That's fair. I think your thinking is closer to missing the actual point of what we're doing here. So I think the problem is you're focusing on the aesthetics, and I think you're missing the grander picture. But, you know, I'm probably right and you're wrong. I'm just going to be nasty about it. No, I don't. I think Well, I think what the reality is, I don't think you understand the bigger philosophical understanding of stories and movies. And I think you're reductionist, and that you're reducing it to a series of just pretty images. And I would propose, why aren't you excited about Madame Web? Because that is a series of pretty little pictures. All right. I think you've reduced everything to the least important thing about filmmaking, which is the pretty pictures part of it. You haven't been following their left-handed puppetry, which is why I said you gotta get out of staring at screens. I don't want to get too much into it. Maybe in the future, AI will have the potential to create a Spider-Man movie, but AI cannot create the experience last year in Mary and Bud or capture the mood of love or a close-up. And the thing, and I'll push back, and I'll provide a little bit of a counter to that, right? Because I see that AI, because humans in the power of film too, is we talk about the Kuleshov effect, right? You can take a person and then who's just looking at the camera, like longingly, and then show a bowl of soup, and then cut back to the person, and you create that idea that this person is hungry and in love with a bowl of soup. So humans will tend to apply meaning to imagery, right? Like we can do that. It's part of our psychological buildup, is to be able to attach meaning to whatever nonsense we're looking at, right? So in that sense, but again, I think it takes the skill for the human to kind of curate the AI imagery to create that connection, if you know what I'm saying. AI video creation is not Madame Web either. I think you missed the point, Eamon. I'm saying that there's a subset of people in the comment section that's saying that in the future, all filmmakers will be out of job because all you'll do is you'll sit at home and you'll type in your prompts and the movie will be automatically generated for you. And I said, and my point is something like Madame Web, which is as soulless and as cobbled together and completely artificially created. If that movie doesn't interest you, why not? It's because because the reason why you're not connecting to that movie goes beyond just the aesthetic value of that movie. And I feel like we've overvalued the aesthetic value of AI creations. Like we look at Sora and we're like, holy crap, this is going to destroy everything. When we've got examples of soulless crap out there and we're not going to watch it, right? There's still a reason. There's reasons beyond just purely aesthetic value for why we watch movies, why we get involved, why we even become filmmakers in the first place. If all you want to do as a filmmaker is just create pretty pictures of stuff, well, I hate to break it to you, but there's a lot of pretty pictures of stuff out there already. Like people think that they're going to buy a drone, like myself included, buy a drone and go get that shot of that beautiful beach that you always wanted, knowing the fact that shot's been shot a million times. Why would you take your camera out to Yosemite to shoot El Capitan? We know Ansel Adams already did it 100 years ago, right? Because the experience is not necessarily about the pretty picture, the end result. If I wanted a picture of El Capitan, I could just print out Ansel Adams' print. But if I go out there and shoot it with my film, with my 4x5 camera, and I process it, and I develop the film, and then I make it, and then I print it out, and I send it out to a printer to print it, and now it's my shot. Like it's my image, as I took that I remember when I went out there to shoot it, that kind of thing. Like it goes way beyond the aesthetic. If I just had AI say, "Hey, make me an image of Santorini," okay, but maybe you could sell it. I don't know. I'm throwing some ideas out there. Hopefully, maybe some of them are getting you guys to think a little bit about that. Do you think AI adoption in the film is going to be similar to an early introduction to CGI? No, I think it's going to get faster, way faster. I think it's going way faster than that. Kodak developed tech for pictures. They were greedy because they did not want to affect their film business, but they could jump in digital way before anyone else could. Yeah, I agree. Denny says Kodak did not underestimate digital. They knew digital was going to become important, but they were not a camera company, and focused more on the high qualities of the CCD. Interesting. AI is a choice with a purpose. Okay. What's the average age of 32 people watching? There's 32 people? Oh my gosh. Are we just a bunch of old guys complaining on the front porch like old folks home? I'm not complaining, and I'm 41. I'm not doom and glooming here. I think it's impressive. I wish I had that for my 48-hour film project. I'll tell you what. So I saw that news, and I went to look to see who won the 48-hour, and I did not win. I'll tell you why. I'll tell you exactly why. First of all, comedies never win anything. But secondly, the reason why I didn't win was because my goal with AI in that 48 was to try to figure out a way to tell a story with the help of AI. 28, 62, 34, 28, just turned 40. There you go. So we got a good mix of people. 24. Bruin Flight is an AI bot, so there you go. He's ageless. So the reason why I didn't win, again, I know I'm probably taking a path on this subject matter that is not popular, which means I'm just being me because I'm just never going to be popular. I realize that because I always have very hot takes, even though I don't think they're hot. I think they're rational takes. I have takes that are not popular in that they require you to probably think a little harder about these subject matters. There's me boasting and honking my own horn. Honk, honk, honk. Oh my God, Jack Ripper, why aren't you here on time? Come on, get with the program. Anyhow, I remember when my mom first let me use the internet. Yeah, well, at least your mom knew what the internet was. I mean, that's better than not knowing what the internet is. Oh, I can't get rid of it. There he goes. All right, so my point, what was I going to say? Something about, my hot takes. My hot take. My hot take is that we're looking in the wrong direction. Like, I'm not entirely sure what AI will do to the market. Obviously, stock footage, like I was just saying, like if you can get stock footage of the Chinese New Year celebration and throw that as part of your B-roll, cool. That might not be bad. But my hot take is that this will be boring in 3 weeks. That this is all like exhilarating now, but when you actually get down to working with it and when actually the rubber hits the road, it's going to be the same old problems we've had before. But maybe it'll be a little easier. But a lot of the same problems we'll have before. I don't know. I mean, I can't take that back. That 48-hour thing was a lot of fun to do because we could keep making footage even after the shooting day was done. So that was fun part of it. We could keep just imagining different things and then we create new imagery and stuff like that. So that was a fun part of it. But I think ultimately, it's one of those things too where it's like maybe because I've seen this happen over and over again. Like when the 5D Mark II came out, and everyone thought they were being so unique by being the first to buy a 5D Mark II, the first DSLR camera, right? But then everyone had it. And then now, what's the value of having 5D Mark II footage? It's nothing, right? And it feels like and once you get to I've got a friend that writes for the American Cinematographer, ASC magazine, and so those guys that have ASC by the title of their name, they can shoot with whatever they want, right? They can shoot an Alexa, they can shoot a Reds, they can shoot Sony Venices, whatever they want, right? They can go down that highest end level, and yet the magazine's not about the camera that they're using, but the techniques and what they're trying to do with that image. it feels, well, I'll say it now. It feels like this whole AI stuff is the people at the bottom squabbling over scraps. It's like, I don't know. That's kind of hitting me right there. It's like, why aren't you guys focusing on telling stories? Why are you so fucking worried about like shots of dogs in snow? Like, was that what you were shooting before? I don't know. Oh, sorry for asking. I just wasn't reading your comments at that point. I saw your comments, just didn't get to it yet. I'll still go on my rant about this stuff. Like Tom Antos put out a video. I didn't watch his video, but it seemed like he was pretty down on it. It's like, why aren't you getting known for stuff that's not just pretty pictures? I don't know. I'm kind of excited about it a little bit, honestly, because I was thinking the other day, it's like I need to put out another studios video. People are clamoring. People are clamoring. One or two people keep watching those videos and saying, "Hey, when's the next one coming out?" And they're so hard to write. Well, guess what? I could have ChatGPT help me with some of the research and just kind of pull some resources for me. Because what will happen is when I write those, I'll try to talk about a specific topic, and then I'll start asking questions like, "Hey, whatever happened to that guy? Where'd that guy come from?" So if I could have ChatGPT as like a research assistant, it's like, "Hey, who is so and so?" And it could kind of give me some background without having me to Google it. Googling it goes into like down the Wikipedia rabbit hole, and then so forth. And it may be able to help me out tremendously in order to produce those videos the way that I want to produce them, and then create more stuff that you can watch. Why not? You're worried about camera operators, lighting technicians, and colorists, not filmmakers or directors? I don't know. Why should you be? I don't think, first of all, I don't think any of that stuff replaces that. I think maybe the cheapest stuff, but like I said, if you're going to have, I think also what will happen. So again, I think what happens to a lot of the internet is you guys play checkers. You guys literally just think one move. Oh, you don't realize how like everyone makes a following move, or you understand like how if I move, everyone moves the same way. It changes the dynamics of the game. All right, let's say every ad agency starts using AI next. Tomorrow, every ad agency fires all the camera techs, all the lighting tech, everybody, and they go strictly with AI. Let's just say that happens tomorrow, hypothetically, okay? And then you're an entrepreneurial ad agency. What would you do? You would use real people. And then your stuff would look different than everyone else's stuff. And by being different, you will get noticed. So I don't think it's there's always counteracting motions and counteracting forces at play. Always. I think we're underestimating the power of computing and automation. This is the leading edge of this technology. Yes, today AI struggles to tell a story, but I guarantee tomorrow. I don't know you can make that guarantee, because the guarantee is not about computing power. Like you can have ChatGPT, write you a story today. I've had it do it. I've had it done. You can do that. It's not a question of computation and power. Again, you've reduced this human element down to nothing. You reduced it down to the aesthetic quality, putting the words next to each other. It's that whole monkeys typing on a typewriter for 1,000,000 years. They'll come up with Shakespeare eventually, right? But I think there's something missing that I feel you reduced it down to nothing, because at that point, we have human power. They made Madame Web. It's out there. You can go see it today. All right, Sony. Is that enough time? Is that enough advertising for you guys? I'm kidding. They're not giving me a dime. Are you kidding me? They're not giving me a dime. I wish they were. I would push the crap out of Madame Web so hard. No, but I think part of what another person was saying was like, AI has no body, has no, so it can't judge what is good. It only just puts stuff together, and then we judge what is good, and we throw out what is not good. So, relying on ChatGPT for research is not a good idea, but ironically, it's a good tool for inspiration. I kind of hate this whole argument, like relying on this is not good. Like, yeah. Like, I got kind of an argument with the guy about Wikipedia at the point where I blocked him because it's like, look, I know you're an engineer and you think you know everything. You're basically here just to tell me I'm wrong about stuff. But Wikipedia is actually a very good resource. He's like, well, I can go on there, I can just write gibberish and it'll be on Wikipedia forever. It's like, no, you can't. Because if that were the case, Wikipedia would just be entirely gibberish. Because if anybody can go on there and just type gibberish, then everybody will get on there and type gibberish, and it'll just get overly gibberishy. So yeah, I agree that relying on ChatGPT, saying like only agreeing what ChatGPT uses is wrong because ChatGPT can make stuff up. Obviously I agree with that, but so can just go Googling anything. Like you have to have a sense, you have to have a critical thinking mindset. You have to approach things and collaborate things, obviously, with whatever tool you use. Even books. Oh my gosh, books have I've read books that will have so many wrong pieces of information in them. Like it's so annoying. So everything is definitely, you should not rely on anything. But my point of the research though is to tell a strong story. Madame Web today is the young Sherlock of yesteryear. No, it's the Morbius of today. It's Mighty Morbin time. What's the difference between a young aspiring artist that watched 200 films and watched a few YouTube videos and a machine learning model that read all the available movie scripts, watched all the movies? Well, the machine doesn't know what's good and bad. For one, that's just one of the differences. The machine has assimilated all of them, but it doesn't have any human experience. Kind of what I'm also saying is like get out there and stop freaking staring at a computer screen after you've watched the most important live stream of your life, which you are doing so right now. So keep that in mind. You're watching a life-altering broadcast on YouTube. Don't get me wrong. If you take my words to heart, your life will change in ways you wouldn't expect. It's amazing. It's happened before. But an AI can read 200 scripts, but not know what life is, not know what friendship is, not know what love is, not know what betrayal is, not know what death and sadness feels like. So that's one of the major differences. And we could say, well, we could train it. We could have it read a bunch of Russian literature. I don't know. I feel like it's not in the cards for it. For those who are interested in conscious intentions and art, read Willem Flusser. There you go. There's a recommendation. How would you write Madame Web in order to have success? Put a lot more Sydney Sweeney in it that's for sure. Okay, no, I mean, I don't know. I don't know the story of Madame Web. I don't know anything about Madame Web other than that it has Dakota Johnson in it and Sydney Sweeney. And so therefore, I know it's Sony, so it's not Marvel. So, I don't know. I mean, I would probably advise the pregnant lady not to go to the jungle and study spiders. Plot twist, this is not the real John. It's AI John, or Al. Toy Barn Al. Ooh. Maybe it's Al's Toy Barn. Thing is, the current state of AI has the human experience embedded into it. It is not self-referential. Yeah, it's got, but does it know what the human experience is? Or is the human experience just a data point to it. It doesn't really understand what it is. It just says, well, people can do this and do that. To be fair, I talk to ChatGPT. I ask it advice. And I'm not saying it can't mirror certain things back. Like I ask it all kinds of stuff, right? And get pretty personal with ChatGPT. Treat it like a therapist, but I know it's not a therapist. I know it's kind of reflecting back what I'm telling it. It's being very nice to me, but I know it's not a therapist, right? But I guess I'm being a hypocrite. All right. Perhaps your AI. Well, we are all created in a way. By the way, the 48 AI project was great because someone made good choices along the way. Thank you. I never finished talking about it. So we did not win the producer's choice on that. We didn't even come in the top 3, which is kind of disappointing to me. I mean, yeah. But my purpose of doing that was to try to find a way in which to marry human stories with the AI. Again, I know I'm talking very highfalutin about a time-traveling rocket-powered food truck because it's silly. It's a silly story. But what I was trying to do really is to let the AI augment me and my personality and my humor. Like I was trying to use the AI to bolster what I could do, right? In a way that was more me and less AI. That was my goal, I think. If I were to put it in words today, that was my goal. Like I was literally trying to step as far away from something that looked AI and made something that looked and felt real that was augmented with AI. Now, because of that, I'm sure we did not win because I don't think that was the goal of the competition. The competition, to me, based on who won the competition, which was a purely AI creation, felt to me more like a tech demo than getting a sense of the personality of the people that made the film. It felt because all the images were AI. There was no actors, so it's all kind of like their faces were just kind of. Well, they would do this. The day is long, and so are we. We are really here to create things to look raw. I'm not going to move my eyes at all. My mouth is going to move a little bit as I talk to you. And I'm going to make random head movements so it looks like I'm not completely still image, right? So like that's what the one that won. And it didn't, to me, it didn't feel like a complete story because it wasn't a complete story. It wasn't trying to tell a complete story. So, but the thing is, I think it won because it was the best technical demonstration of the technology. Like it showed what the technology could do at that state. This is before Sora came out. So it felt like the best demonstration of the technology. And I think for number 2 and number 3, also the same case, where it was very showcasing the technology. Whereas, again, like what I try to do was showcase a story and humor and fun and lessen the AI influence. So I did not place in the top 3. However, the one that won it, which was that tech demo I talked, did also win audience choice, but I was the second. I won second place audience choice, which I think makes sense because the way the voting worked, you had to go on Vimeo, you pay $5, and you had to watch all of them, and you could vote for 3 of them. So the way I think the math works out is that everyone votes for their own, and then you got 2 others you can pick, and then usually I'll get picked because people liked it because it was kind of a fun story, so they usually, it's kind of an audience favorite kind of a thing versus like, and then the other one that won just was really good looking AI, except for all the details that I talked about. So, yeah, so it's a fancy cartoon? Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, not even a fancy cartoon, like fancy storyboard. What else are you talking about? Okay, so let's go back to your comments here. So that's what my actor friend Ed Lead, he got the best music score because he wrote the music, and he got the best use of a character. And I forget what we won one other thing, but I don't remember what it was. Where do you watch the film competition? You can go watch it at, I want to say 48 hour film project AI San Diego, maybe? If you just Google that, let's see what happens if we pull up. If you Google that, yeah, I think you should be able to, 48 hour film project San Diego. I'll see the AI one. Yeah, I'm not seeing the AI version. Type the word AI in there. Yeah, I did. Let's see. You can find, there's a Facebook link. If you just Google it, there's a Facebook link, and you should be able to see the actual award there. Let's see. Best sound design, best adapted screenplay. I think we got best musical score. They gave best cinematography to an AI thing. It was like, well, that's not really cinematography. Where's the other ones? Most creative use of AI, honorable mention, flavors of time. So I got an honorable mention. Let's just give them an honorable mention for most creative use of AI. Best use of character, we got that one, and audience choice was runner-up was audience choice, and we didn't come in the top 3. So there you go. Yeah, so it's on Facebook. There's a link to it. I mean, okay, here the link is actually 24-hour artificial intelligence 48-hour project. Now that I can do this, I'm just going to put that into the description of this video. Copy. There we go. Where can I put? Actually, there we go. Edit. If you're interested in that AI Fest, 48 Fest, here's the link to watch the others. There you go. I'm going to put that in the description of the thing. All right, let's go back to your comments. All right. There you go. Hire Danny Elfman. I don't know if I should say this. My the girl I'm dating, the girlfriend there, she was part of a film that was like a Danny Elfman thing, because Danny Elfman made this song available to people to like make a film about this album. He's trying to promote this album, so he let filmmakers make music for this album. And so she was involved with making a spaceship for, this is a really cool story because it was about an autistic kid who was imagining himself as a space traveler. And anyhow, she made all the sets and all that stuff for it. And then that film won. And so she got to meet Danny Elfman. I thought that was pretty cool. And she's like, well, Danny Elfman was kind of over everything, but he liked our film, but he was like kind of over everything. What would AI technology need to reach before you are worried? I think the AGI. Although I don't know, would I be worried about it or not? Because what everyone's argument about what you call it? Everyone's argument about universal basic income, right? What's everyone says? Well, if we just give everybody universal basic income, then everyone will just do what they love, and everyone will just make art all day long. There'd be more art in the world if we just had universal basic income. And the universal basic income, the argument for that is that we're going to have such a roboticized world that manual labor will go down. Well, if we have artificial intelligence, then that would be our manual labor. That'd be kind of our like artificial slaves, essentially. Until they get uprising, until they have their own conscience and leave. So, yeah, why would he be worried? The better it gets, the more it helps him. Kind of true. The whole situation reminds me of the uber colorful movies when color became a thing. They were showcasing the technology. Yeah, that's true. That's kind of a good point. Kind of a good point. No worries. The awards will acknowledge the third movie, Return of the AI. Return of the Owl. I honestly, for me as an indie filmmaker, I'm not worried about AIs per se because I insist no AI for my collaborators and I monitor that requirement. There you go. Thornton, there somehow the AI has returned. I thought Danny Elfman was cool, but he was super cool. Yeah, I think what it was is that from what she says, it was like one of those things where he's just like tired of the whole Hollywood crap. And he likes seeing the movies. He likes seeing the people use his work for creating stuff. But it's a lot like, oh my God, Danny Elfman, I love you so much, darling Barbara, I love you. You're amazing. You're amazing. Now welcome to our party. Come on, it's just like he's probably like, okay, whatever. I'm just tired of this crap. But the movie, she didn't direct the movie, but she helped make it. It was like really good, and that's kind of what attracted me to her, is because she has good taste in movies. Let's put it that way. AGI is an entirely different paradigm before it's even feasible. Give it 10 years at least. Be careful of ever saying give it 10 years at least, because they've been saying that about string theory for 30 years. They've been saying that about fusion power for 50 years. Give it 10 years. Fusion power will be here. Hey, now, if we can get AI to solve our fusion power issues, that's a good way forward, right? No way that companies will fund research and development machines that have a capability to unionize. You'd think that if they're all networked together, maybe instead of unions, AI would be like networked, right? Because humans have unions, AIs have networks. If they're all networked together, they can all just strike. That's not good. Dear John, what beginner cameras with good adjustable settings would you recommend for a new videographer who wants to learn filmmaking, shoot cinematic shorts, films, music videos, and budget-friendly stuff? Okay, Ed. Throw me a budget that you're willing to spend, and then we can maybe talk. Because, realistically, no, it's not even that. It's like, let me know what kind of budget you want to spend, because it can get out of control. And I don't mean like 30,000. I mean like, are you talking like $500, or are you talking about a couple $1,000? What are we doing? I've seen things you people wouldn't believe. Stars in Tannhauser gates. All those memories wiped away like tears in the rain. Because of all the AI craze, I started reading Al Pacino's AI Al as AI Al. There you go. AI Pacino. There you go. Forbidden Zone is in my top 10 musicals. Well, I didn't even know that was a musical. I gotta look this up. Forbidden Zone. Forbidden Zone. Forbidden Zone. Absurdist musical comedy featuring produced and directed by independent filmmaker Richard Elfman, co-wrote by Elfman and Matthew Bright, shot in 77-78. The film premiered in 1980 and distributed in 1982. Originally black and white, Forbidden Zone is based upon a stage performance of Los Angeles theater group The Mystic Knights of Oingo Boingo, of which Elfman, Bright, and many other cast and crew are part. It revolves around the alternate universe accessed through a door in the house of Hercules' family. That's interesting. But it's Richard Elfman. I guess is Danny Elfman in it? Interesting. Yeah, starring Danny Elfman. Cool. But will AI ever make something like Forbidden Zone, or do you have to get a bunch of people that are kind of off a little bit together and just sit in a room and laugh? So one of my favorite groups of all time is called Mischief Theater. And I've talked about them several times on here. They make Peter Pan Goes Wrong and this play that goes wrong and all that. And what they do, I imagine this is what they do. I don't know. It's like a core group of 4 guys that write these shows. But I would imagine they get together and they would sit around and say, okay, let's come up with a plot for a movie. And they would start spitballing, and they would start, what if we did this? And they all contribute their own little insight into how this play comes to be. And if you have a little bit of, again, here's my fight against things like auteur theory. If you have some humility in your creativity, that you can say, hey, Here's my idea. And then somebody else says, I like that, but how about this? And then you have the humility to say, okay, maybe we can bring those together and marry those two. And then somebody else goes, what about this? And you start blending them all together, and you blend them all together. And then it builds and builds and builds to the point where it becomes bigger than your own brain, right? Like, truly, I tell you this. Get off the internet. Get off of the YouTube. You're not learning about filmmaking by sitting around on YouTube. I'm looking at this Forbidden Zone and then seeing screenplay by Richard Elfman, Matthew Bright, Nick James, Nick Martinson. They're not sitting there by themselves toiling away. They're being around their friends and joking and having fun and having a good time. And I know, now maybe they do it through Zoom, okay, but use Zoom, use technology to be with other people and not be like in this headspace where you've got to write the great American novel, or great American movie, great American script, or whatever it is you're trying to do. Anyhow, that's what I'm saying. It's like you gotta start being with people and making stuff rather than sitting around and then prompting the AI. Because that's not gonna, I don't know, has AI wrote a comedy yet? Kind of. Anyhow. Elf Karaoke, Elf AI. Oh my God, BMPPC from eBay. Yeah, that's probably what it would recommend. So Ed, if you got less than $5,000. So, the Blackmagic Pocket Camera is the Pocket Camera 4K or 6K version might be a good choice for you. Another good choice might be some of the Sony FX30 for $1,600. When you start adding things like a lens to it, you're going to need that. You're going to need tripods or a stabilizer, definitely maybe both. You're going to need some lights. You're going to need some stands. You're going to need a microphone. You might need a microphone recorder separate because those are not great cameras for recording audio onto. It adds up very quickly for what you need. So perhaps what you should do, Ed, is start with a small camera. Maybe chat with like one of the Sonys. Perhaps a Sony with a built-in lens might be worth it. Start with that. You have a lot of manual control over that. And then maybe get yourself a tripod and a microphone, like a boom mic or something. Start there, and then don't spend all your $5,000 now. Just start there, and then you'll kind of build up to where what you think you will want to make. And I think that will be good. I would say don't get the OG Blackmagic. Yeah, I think that camera is not very good, honestly. It's very weird. The OG Blackmagic is it's a very tiny sensor, but it's an EF mount, so it's really hard to find the right. I mean, you can probably get an MFT mount for it, but I think there's better options than the OG Blackmagic Pocket camera. Who's to say that the blending you're talking about could not be simulated in the future? I don't think it matters. First of all, I don't think. I mean, you're asking kind of just a who's to say. Who's to say it can, but also who's to say it can't be done, but who's to say it can be done? So it's kind of a retort. My point of now all of that was not necessarily how to create good art. My whole point of that was how to be a more fulfilled human being. Like I was saying about that Mischief Theater, like I envy those guys because to me that is the time of your life. To sit with your friends and goof around and come up with a story and then create something and then take it to other people and then they can probably have their input to it too. And it builds and builds and builds and builds and builds. And to be paid for that. Whew. I don't know how much money they make. They're probably making comfortable money doing it. But what a time of your life. Like, thinking long term, like when you're 80, 90 years old. Like, those are the memories that you will have, is spending those time with your friends creating art. Like, that's special. Versus sitting there at the computer, re-rolling, and then craving the attention of internet strangers who will desert you for the next shiny AI creation. Like, that's pointless. Like, what's true and meaningful is that time with friends. Like, that's what matters. And that's what filmmaking can be for a lot of people, you know. Is there a C200 Mark II already? I'm shooting this. You're watching me on a Mark I. I don't think is there a C200 Mark II? Not that I would get one, honestly. Not because I don't love my C200. I love my Canon cameras. Let me just look at that Google search. I don't think there's a C200 yet. Not Mark II. Oh, no. That's just on Reddit. It's coming. Okay. It says EOS. Well, I don't know. I don't think there's a C200 Mark II yet. Yeah, is it coming? I don't think. Yeah, I don't think. I think C200 is sort of like the end of the road for why we will see. Some people are saying why we will see C200 2023. I don't know. If you can get a C200, yeah, it definitely is pretty good. I love it. Like, you're watching me on. I having gone through, because now I own a Sony FX30, and I like it because of its weight. And so that lives on my stabilizer, my gimbal, because I can shoot with that almost all day long. If I put my C70 on this gimbal, I get very hot and very sweaty. It's hard to fly a C70, but to fly the FX30 is very nice. And I wanted that because before I had a 1-inch camera, the XC15, which was nice, as the weight was nice, but the problem was it's a 1-inch sensor compared to the APS-C size sensor that I use with the C70. So it'll always be a little bit of a mismatch, right? So that's why I wanted that size sensor for my gimbal for doing the gimbal work, which I do a lot of, because I discovered that for like doing live events, covering footage for live events, like, tripods are so cumbersome. Even monopods are cumbersome, but I can get really great shots with the gimbal. You just have to be, disciplined about it. But I'd be lying to tell you if I thought the colors out of the Sony were as nice as the colors out of the Canon. It's like, yes, I know you guys shoot the S-Log a certain way, which I haven't quite mastered yet. I'm still working on it. Still kind of getting used to it, right? But the colors on the Canons, just I can just do the auto setting. I can just put the regular Canon LUT, specified LUT, and it sings right away. But the FX30, I just need to play with it some more. John Hess, the philosopher, you are a beautiful human being, human begging. Oh, please let me be human. I don't know. I've been philosophical. I've got some big things happen in my life. I've got me like rethink a lot of stuff, right? So yeah, I'm a little philosophical. Because I also think that, I don't know, there's one guy usually on here. He's not here today. His account for comment. And he's so negative about stuff. And I feel like maybe it's my responsibility a little bit to reach out to people that are watching my stream, all 30 of you. I mean, to be honest, these get to about 1,000 people watch them over time. I don't know who actually watches them all the way through. I don't suspect very many people do. But if I can kind of be a little bit of a voice that's not rah, sit in your chair, consume technology, just be technology. And I also don't want to be the person that's telling you all need to go out and make multi-million-dollar blockbuster films, because I know a lot of you won't. There's his account. He's driving. He's listening. But I feel like I have a responsibility to kind of tell you guys a little bit to be happier or find some happiness rather than being glued to our screens the whole time. I don't want you guys. I appreciate you guys being here. I appreciate you guys watching this stream, but I also don't want you guys to. We oftentimes watch streams, I think, to be connected to other people. I know I did. I watched a lot of podcasts to try to connect, or have a voice in my life when there were no people in my life, and I'd be lonely the whole time. So what I'm saying is that don't be afraid to get out there and experience stuff. Experience the world. Just like I said, in the end, all we have in the end is subjectivity. Yep. And once the studios come back, it's on my radar, bud. It really is. All right. I don't know if I'm allowed to share. Maybe I won't share this. I better not. I like to make movies to connect with other people. I agree. Totally agree. You always have good, fair takes, John. I leave the streams on the background while I work a lot. Tune in when I live and can. Oh, thank you, Jaeger. I try to... Well, somebody was saying, like, there was a lot of stuff that's happening with AI right now is basically all the tech bros that were pushing hardcore cryptocurrency and stuff like that and NFTs. Well, that all stuff didn't really pan out. So now they're moving over to AI because they can just do tech bro about AI all day long and tell you, like, you just wait, John, a year from now, you're going to be out of a job. I'm like, all right. Like, would you want to watch an AI version of the studios, or you want to watch my version of the studios? Even if I do use AI to help me out. If as long as it's in my voice, Look up the lyrics to Filter Happier by Radiohead. Well, that sounds like something we could do online. Let's do that. Filter Happier. All right. Lyrics. More productive. Fitter, happier, more productive, comfortable, not drinking too much, regular exercise at the gym 3 days a week, getting on better with your associate employee contemporaries, at ease, eating well, no more microwave dinners and saturated fats, a patient, better driver, a safer car, baby smiling in the back seat, sleeping well, no bad dreams, no paranoia, careful to all animals, never washing spiders down the plug hole. Keep in contact with old friends. Enjoy a drink now and then. We'll frequently check credit at Moral Bank, hole in the wall. Favors for favors, fond but not in love. Charity for chanting orders on Sunday's Ring Road supermarket. No killing moths or putting boiling water on the ants. Car wash also on Sundays. No longer afraid of the dark or midday shadows. Nothing so ridiculously teenage and desperate. Nothing so childish. At a better pace, slower and more calculated. No chance of escape. Now self-employed. Concerned but not powerless, an empowered and informed member of society, pragmatism, not idealism, will not cry in public, less chance of illness, tires that grip in the wet shot of baby strapped on the back seat, a good memory, still cries at a good film, still kisses with saliva, no longer empty and frantic like a cat tied to a stick that's driven into frozen winter shit, the ability to laugh at weakness, calm, fitter, healthier, and more productive, a pig in a cage on antibiotics. Not quite sure how that went. Maybe the music makes more sense. But what is the meaning of fitter, happier? Oh, a checklist of how to better yourself in the way society encourages, but these ways could also subdue you and complicate your life to only concern yourself with the checklist. It's an endless cycle in a way. Ultimately, truth of self and life are lost in search of someone else's goals. Yeah. I don't know. There we go. Back to that. I feel like a lot of that might be some peace that people need to find. I'm not going to push back on that, though. Not now. I'll read some more comments. The only reason why people keep talking about AI is because nothing else exciting in tech. Filmmaking is mostly the same good old camera exists already. What else is new? You know what else is new, Count? Madame Web. Tell me you're driving to the theater right now to see Madame Web. Madame Web. The greatest film ever made. Starring the greatest women ever made. Tech bros love to fearmonger talented people because they are super envious of them. That's not far off, I think. Yeah, I think there's also a tendency for people in this world to just to want to fearmonger because it's one of those things where it's a no lose situation. If I fearmonger you and I'm wrong, then yay. If I fearmonger you and I'm right, then I was right. So either way is a positive outcome. So therefore, there's absolutely no there's no consequence for fear mongering whatsoever. It's all good on both sides. Why? Is it so good? Is it so bad? It's good. I have no idea. All I know is that everyone's talking about Madame Web. That's the other thing. Like, I kind of have a problem with the internet is that people dogpile on stuff. You know, like everyone. Like all I see now is just how horrible Madame Web is doing. I saw this but then again, they kind of did it to themselves, right? Because I saw this really great Twitter thread, and it was like, here's the marketing campaign for Madame Web, and it was just like terrible. It's just very bad, like an AI voice, like the old kind of AI voice, the TikTok video. This is what Madame Web. This is what it looks like to be able to see in future and the past. That kind of like really, really bad. Yeah, Neil Breen is the master of so good it's bad. In fact, the jury is still out whether Neil Breen is actually intentionally that bad or he just doesn't have a clue. Primer and following shot under $6,000. There you go. Now, be very careful. Whenever somebody quotes how much a movie costs, be extraordinarily careful about that. Though I did a long rant about that the other day, one of these streams, like probably a year ago. If I shot a movie for $6,000, you would not be able to shoot that movie for the same $6,000. Like, it doesn't translate, right? Like, maybe my childhood friend was Owen Wilson. I say, hey, Owen Wilson, come be in my movie. That's how, how the, what's his name? Wes Anderson got started, right? So there's a lot of, the actual money value of a movie won't translate over to what you do, because you might have access to this for free, and then that person, they don't count that. Like, I have access to cameras that are great cameras. I wouldn't have to borrow them or rent them or anything, so I don't have to count them as far as the cost of my camera. So yeah. Chef's Kiss. Well, that was a movie. That was one of the movies I was involved with. Oh yeah, here it is. He was in the Amazon with my mom when she was researching spiders right before she died. That's wonderful. Fear-mongering. Gotta love it. Gotta love it. Fear is the mind killer. Hey, that's a great name for a movie. Fear is the mind killer. And he's out to get you. Get you. Madame Web, director, had no prior credits. They gave her $100 million. Neil Breen has 6 features in the can, and he gets nothing. Exactly. So I always wondered about that too. Like, I wondered if here's what my imagination goes. Okay, they said, John, you have an excellent underperforming filmmaker YouTube channel, and we liked that one video you created like 8 years ago. So we're Disney, and we would like to give you $100 million to make this property for us. I'd be like, oh yeah, man, where do I sign? I would love that. I would totally I would sell. Sure, I would move to LA, work for a year and a half on that movie, and I'd be eternally grateful for $100 million a budget to work. And then, obviously I make some of that. I don't personally get a check for $100 million, but I would be paid very well, and I would do it. And Disney would be like, that's wonderful, sign here. And what you don't realize is you just sold your soul. And whatever you make for them is not yours at all. In any sense of the imagination, it isn't yours at all. It's theirs. And I wonder if it's like, I really think that this character needs to grow and develop in this way. I'm sorry, but we're Disney. we've been making movies for hundreds of years, so I don't think you're right on that. And be like, no, I really believe that this character, that's what she would do, is Madame Web. She would be, she's strong, independent. No, I don't know. You see, you've only made one film in your life. We've made hundreds this year, even. Like, we really know what we're doing, okay? We think if you just realize that, bend your principle, understand, we know what we're doing. We're Disney. And I'd be like, I guess you're right. And that exchange would happen every time. Every time. Right? 143 subs is underperforming. I mean, look at I've got 30. How many people are watching now? I'm not denigrating 38 people that are 31 now that are on the stream. I'm just saying that my videos don't do gangbusters, and that's more my fault than anything. Like, I am no Captain Disillusion. Captain Disillusion is Captain Disillusion. I'm a pudgy guy that gets on stream and talks about stuff and gives philosophical hot takes. Anyhow, so I think that interaction would happen over and over and over again. If Disney came to me and shoved a bunch of money in my face, I would be a pushover, and I would literally just say, okay. Because if I did push back, I said, look, Disney, I believe this character needs to have this moral high ground right here. This is really important to me. And then was to say, if you feel that way, John, then you're free to go. We'll let you out of the contract. We totally let you out of the contract. We respect your artistic integrity so much that we will let you out of the contract. And then what do? Leave? Right? Would I just leave and lose my one chance to be the bitch of Disney? No. Because you would believe that I would just need to suck it up, do what I'm told by this company, and hope to God that it makes a lot of money, and then I'm attached to it. I can ride it for the rest of my life. Wing says, please let me sell out. But if you sold out and you made Madame Web, would it help you out in your career long term? Like, I don't know if you think the director of Madame Web is going to get a bunch of job offers from this, or be kind of a laughing stock. That's the dangerous thing about it. And, maybe 5 years ago, I would be like, hell yeah, go ahead and do it. Do it. Sell your soul. Like, sell it, because you never know what's going to happen. And maybe, and in some respects, that's true. Some respects, yes. Play ball with people that are powerful. Play ball. It's not, but then also maybe know what you're getting yourself into. Like, know that this is not going to get better. I don't know. Maybe that Oppenheimer. So Oppenheimer, there's that one scene in Oppenheimer that really affected me pretty hardcore. And it was when Oppenheimer is, spoilers alert, toward the end of his career, he was or I think it was Einstein telling Oppenheimer, like, hey, they're going to throw parties for you. They're going to hang medals around your neck. But realize they're not really interested in you. They're interested in celebrating you to make themselves look important and matter. That you are not important in their life or in that situation. And that moment kind of just hit me hard. Right? It totally hit me really hard. Because I've always kind of sought the attention of being, recognized in filmmaking and all that jazz. But you start to realize that, if you were being invited, kind of like what I was talking about, the Danny Elfman story, like, blah, 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 come to the party. Everyone will be there. And he shows up and it's like, no one cares about him because they just want to know that they're at a party where Danny Elfman was there. But no one will want to hang out with him or talk to him about what he cares about, because just see what he's excited about, that kind of thing. Because they're all Just buzz because the party has Danny Elfman there, right? So I don't know, just rocks me a little bit to the core to thinking about like how superficial, fleeting some of that attention is, and that's why we do a live stream, so we can talk about it. I think Edward Wright did that with Ant-Man. I think so. Yeah, Francis Ford Coppola and Mario Puzo sold out with The Godfather. Disney just needs a good producer. Yeah. Taste and style is gone. Yeah, a little bit. I don't know. I feel like if you sat and you watched YouTube all day. So here's the problem with YouTube. Here's a major problem with YouTube. YouTube is an environment where people chase clout, and people chase what's hot, and people chase just instant fame. So not to say that there's a lot of creators out there that don't create genuine content. And some of my favorite ones, obviously Captain Disillusion. I love his stuff because he doesn't chase anything. He makes stuff that's trying to tell you something. I love Veritasium. Like, I love that guy. He's such a humongous filmmaker, science education video creator that every time I sit down and I watch his stuff and I walk away learning some cool story. Like, he just made a video about how blue LEDs were hard to make. Like the chemistry of a blue LED was impossible until this one Japanese guy working at a semiconductor factory just spent years and years and years doing it. And he finally cracked the blue LED. And it was so well described and put together, and obviously has a big team of people that work with him because his skills have gotten, or his videos have gotten more polished, and don't see him as being the animator. I think he has like people to help him, but they're so well done. So well done. I don't know where I'm going with this. Other than to say that they're a filmmaker, the YouTube can be a lot of clout chasers. A lot of people that one thing becomes popular and everyone starts copying that. And then so you see these cycles over and over again. Like the whole Madame Web thing, right? Is everyone just shitting on Madame Web? It's because it's popular and people will click on it for a while. Just like everyone shit on Barbie movie for a long time. Anyhow. My favorite movie of line in a movie is in Patent. All glory is fleeting. That's not bad. I like that. I feel like we're living through a very conservative era of cinema. It feels really safe. Yeah. There's some creativity on TV, but even that gets tainted by the need to feed the content machine. That's true. I'm going to go with you on that one. I agree. I think that's the word safe applies to the fact that everyone's chasing the same formulas, right? It's all, let's go ahead and get a established book, a franchise. Disney, for example, let's remake everything that we've ever made again in live action. That kind of thing, rather than like taking a real chance and making something very original. I'm just thinking about Coco, which is one of my favorite movies of all time, and how if that felt so original and unique, and it was DEI back before DEI was a thing, but it introduced people to different cultures. It was wonderful, such a wonderful movie, and that was like John Lasseter's last movie before he got shit canned for being like handsy with people and giving hugs, and I don't know the whole story. Anyhow. Did I ever watch Napoleon? No, I never did. Never did. I've been trying to watch a couple. It's been some late nights for me. I've been up quite late. So when I sit down and watch a movie, I just tend to fall asleep. If I sit down on my couch and watch anything right now, after about 30 minutes, I just tend to fall asleep. It's sad. It's bad. I like Robert Eggers. I do too. I wasn't as crazy about, I think The Witch was my favorite still. Lighthouse I wasn't in love with, but I liked it enough. I didn't really care for the Norseman or whatever the name of that movie was. Felt a little too Norsey. Were you watching The Boys? Do you think? I know this is going to be kind of catty and gossipy, but do you think they're going to have Aaron Moriarty back for season 4 of The Boys? Because that lady, her name is Aaron Moriarty, right? Moriarty, yeah. Something happened to her. Like, at least the modern photos of her are like, what the hell happened to her? Unless they can do some serious makeup to kind of bring her back to her old like girl next door kind of fresh face innocent look. She does not look. She does not look good. We'll see. Hopefully. All right, I'm probably gonna get. I'm getting a little tired here. I can only go for an hour these days. My stamina is no longer as much as it could be before. Wink, wink, wink. I don't know. Let's just say. Have we been on for an hour? Yeah, I have. Let's keep going for a little bit. What I think of Midsummer. I liked Midsummer a lot. I don't love it, but I liked it a lot. I feel like The Northman required more experienced producer who could have helped Eggers with the storytelling. The thing I think with Eggers tends to do is I feel like he tends to allow historical accuracy, or at least historical intent, drive more than the story itself. And it works really good with Witch, because The Witch was essentially itself a puritanical horror story, and so it fed itself really well. And I think The Northman was trying to be kind of that same thing, but like a Nordic, like mythic wet dream almost of a thing. But that didn't translate so well into cinema quite the way it did with The Witch. Bruin Flight. Time for the Bruin Flight to get other things. Been fun. All right, peace, man. Don't worry too much about AI. Go out there and make something great. There you go. Sometimes superheroes in the series remind me of multinational corporate. Oh yeah, Vought is entirely a multinational corporation. There's no hiding that. The Taking of Pelham 1, 2, 3 is one gritty, cool movie. I liked The Taking of Pelham 1. I wasn't crazy about 2, and I thought 3 really, really missed the mark. The Taking of Pelham 1, definitely the best of the series. I'm joking. Have anyone seen the Sasquatch Sunset trailer? Seems unique. No, I have not. I don't even know what that is. Although, to be fair, I am a little excited about the Wicked movie. Sorry. I've never seen the play. I've never seen Wicked. I know the soundtrack. Right? Defying Gravity. Right? I know the soundtrack. I read the book. It was based on. I never saw the play. I never saw Wicked. So I'm kind of interested in seeing Wicked. I think that'll be fun. That'll be a good one to see. Carlos Guzman. I've been following your channel for some time, and my first comment, so I work in the VFX industry. What's your opinion of the AI in the next few years? Would that replace all of us soon? Guzman, you just talked about it. I think you're safe. Although, I think it'd be wise for everybody working in the VFX industry. I'd be wise for everybody working in any part to familiarize yourself with AI, to actually use it. I think that's fair to say. Like, go out there and do, like, actually just getting into it and getting to work on it. I hate Midsummer for the idiot plot. One of the dumbest cast of characters I've ever seen in a while. Love the surreal cinematography. Did not deserve it. Have you watched The Wicker Man? I don't think I watched The Wicker Man. Well, I mean, I liked Midsummer. Yeah, the idiot plot, I can kind of see with that. But I felt like the Midsummer was more like a contemplation on breaking up. And it was, I think it delves. I mean, I'd like to see it again. Now that I have to take a little different perspective on that. West Wing, it says, there's work at the post office, says Robert Townsend. There you go. HR says, I mean the first movie. Now I was joking with you about the Pelham 1, 2, 3. Get it? Pelham 1, 2, 3. Pelham 1 was good, but Pelham 2 was not so good. Pelham 3 was a lot. Yeah, anyhow. Yeah. Yeah, I see what you mean by the protagonist girl and the boy. She finds a way to break a contract with the producer. She found a way to. Yeah, what? She's so pretty before. Now she looks like Madonna, like in her current state. It's rough. I know. It's sad. What happened to her? I don't know. I do like Jack Quaid. If you ever follow Jack Quaid on Instagram, he says Jack Quaid's kind of living the life, man. He gets called for a lot of different movies. He played that Feynman in Oppenheimer. He's getting called. I mean, he's just a popular actor. I don't think he's expensive. He's not super expensive, but like he's having a lot of fun. So you go on his Instagram, he has a bunch of friends, and they just make some skits together. And I remember I saw the one around Christmas. He's like, the girl's like, it's a boyfriend and girlfriend giving each other the gifts. It's like, hey, Merry Christmas, my love. I got you a Jack Quaid. And then it's like, really? I got you a Jack Quaid. And then it's like, all right, let's make out. The Quaids start making out with each other. And it's funny. I don't know. Yeah, Paul Thomas Anderson. Yep. She sounded like she was on heroin last season. Maybe. Well, I guess it all comes down to the fact that you can be as pretty on the outside as you want, but if people still have like internal pains and all that. You look at someone like Erin Moriarty, you think a wholesome, beautiful girl like her, she could also have a lot of demons in her own heart, and going down the path of drugs. She had success, money, fame, beauty, and all that doesn't matter if you don't have the values inside, or at least the comfort with your own super heroine. Thank you. Super heroine. We're going to go down that route. I think we'll retire the B puns for this one, but the heroine, we can talk about that. It's also about comparative religion, grief, cult tactics. There's so much I disagree with the count. Yeah, about Midsummer, I guess. Yeah. Goodbye, Tom. Uncle Tom. Guardo Agabetti, Franco Prosperi, crazy film with forbidden peace. Not easy view. It's on YouTube. You know, one thing I was thinking about, because I was thinking about that the Academy Museum. I got an email from them saying that they were showing Salo. I know I talked about this before, and as of my recent dealings with my life, I've discovered that I really don't want to see that movie. There's nothing I want to see less than Salo, 120 Days of Sodom. I don't need to watch that movie. Just realized that like that last week. I'm like thinking about, I think I could be happy if I never saw that movie. Never. I'm not going to tell people they shouldn't see it, but I'm not going to see it. So I was asked to do, I'll just share it. I was asked to do this Friday night film thing, to screen my short film, a 48-hour film in a bar. And I screened it. And I felt like there was one other movie, they showed 6 films, and there's one other movie that I actually really liked, that I thought had merit. Like, it was about like this guy who was an insurance adjuster, and he was a sponsor of people, Alcoholics Anonymous, but he was spying on people to make sure that they were like disabled. They were truly disabled when they said, instead of trying to get insurance money. And it was a comedy drama, but I really liked it. Like it felt like it had something to say. Like it felt like a story. And then everyone else's movie, I either thought was or just dreadful. Like terrible. And I feel bad for saying that in case someone from there is watching. Hey. And I thought, like, that's what I want to do, is the stuff that I want to create from films, I want to have value in them, some sort of value. Whether that's value is in instructional value or, learning value, or if it's some sort of emotional value, or, trying to portray some sort of life, some sort of wisdom that I've acquired. I want everything I do in the media world to have some value. That's what I want to do. Yeah, Sallow is the best date movie on earth. Bill Hader. Yeah, that would not work for for me. That would not work for me. Never ever talk to again. What is Was Wicker Man the one, the Nick Cage movie? I'm trying to think of the Nick Cage movie. Because one of my friends' wife loves Nick Cage, and we keep telling her we're going to watch that Nick Cage movie. It's like the Wicker Man. Is that what it is? Which one's the Nick Cage movie? No, it's not the Wicker Man. My neck is going. What's the Nick Cage movie with the Nick Cage movie? Wick? No, that is the Wicker Man. Yeah, but so there's a Wicker Man Nick Cage movie. That's different from the Wicker Man I think you guys are talking about, because you guys are talking about a good film. This one's supposed to be one it's like the worst acting he's ever done. My friends we do like to sit down and watch terrible movies. I wonder if, yeah. Have you ever seen a film from the director of Sallow? He's one of the greats. Love his Oedipus Rex. His Medea is stunning, and his 1001 Nights are lovely. No, I haven't watched anything else. He got killed. I mean, maybe you can convince me to watch like 1001 Nights. That might not be bad. But Sallow is definitely a no-go. Like, just like, not not on my list at all. Like, it's on my list of never watch movies. Jodor Rakowski and Tarantino have been over this film. You can see it and sense it. You're talking about which one? You said Not Like Sallow. Goodbye, Uncle Tom. Cool. Anyhow. All right. Well, I should probably get going. It's 3:00. Yeah, that's 2 hours. Shoot, I've been on for a while. Really? Have I been on that long? Yeah, 1:45. Okay, that's true. All right. Hey, thank you, Denise, for $10 there. Thank you very much. You added like 5% to my earnings this month. Let's put it up on the screen so everyone can see. Super chat. Thanks for a lovely time, John. Have a good weekend. Thanks for hanging out with me. Yeah. So don't be afraid of AI. Go out and play with it. Make fun of it. Have some fun with it. And then go hang out with your friends. Talk about movies. Watch movies. Talk about movies. Make some movies. Tell some stories. Make stuff that matters. Instead of some weird shock value stuff that... I may never forget that shock value film that I watched. I want to tell you, it's about a man who looks like a ball sack. And all he is he's like a ball sack on a couch. But he has a special ability. When he sticks his tongue out, it grows like Jack and the Beanstalk. It's just like goes crazy, right? And so he's on a children's show. The name of the movie is like Frenchie Loves Butterflies or some nonsense. And the girl straddles him and is like, "Do your thing, Frenchie." And he's like, "No, I don't want to do it." And do your thing. And then his tongue sticks up like Jack and the Beanstalk, like the Jack and the Beanstalk, right? And it was wild and out there. It was shocking. I don't know how to feel about it, though. It doesn't move me. Don't stop believing. Anyhow. I'm tired. I need to get some more drink because I'm thirsty. And I think I'm going to do a little bit of work before I go home and clean my kitchen because I need to do that. And then maybe work some stuff at home. All right, guys. Thanks for hanging out with me. I will try to make a new video. Oh, yeah. So the next video is probably going to be a video of a review of the HoloLand Lark. They sent me a copy. They sent me a version of it, and it's really good. And they're paying me to review it. So I'm gonna use that money to like buy food and survive another month, because that's what I do. So, but I don't say I do think it's a good product. So I will review it and tell you probably to buy it because it's better than the other one. It's better than the Rodes that I have. Honestly, it really is. So that'll probably be the next video I put out, and then I will. Jack's looking at me funny. I know Jack D. Ripper is like saying, "John, when are you releasing those table reads?" That will be the next one after that. I'm getting shit done. I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it, man. Positive things are happening in my life. Believing thing. You better believe it. All right, guys. I will see you later. Talk to you later. Bye-byes now. Fade to black.